Good morning. Welcome to another Baraboo Buds garden visit. I'm with my friend Pat again, and we're at the home of Cindy Mayer, who has generously let us view her garden. It's a garden that I've walked past many times and admired, so I'm very excited today.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you and everyone to come and see our garden. It's a process. Every year it changes and evolves, and yeah, welcome to my garden.
Okay, let's see where it's at today.
Well, Cindy, the thing we noticed right away is all the color, the flowers, your mosaic. It's so welcoming.
Yeah, that was a fun project. That was my husband helped me with that, making sure that it stays around the door. And those are Fiesta plates. And as I was telling earlier, I had gone to an antique store and bought all the Fiesta plates, and she was very carefully wrapping them. And I'm like, you don't have to wrap them because I'm going to break them up for a mosaic. And she kind of went, ah. But I like how it turned out, and it's fun. It's an eye catcher for the front of the door for sure.
Yeah, lovely. It really introduces the colors that are going to go out through your whole garden.
Yep, that was a fun one.
I love all the color here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it gets really hot out here in the summer, so I went with those to bring that color in because it's so hot. It's hard to find a flower that can take the intense heat out here all day long. So they do pretty good here.
Black-eyed Susans, cone flowers. Yeah. What else do we have there?
The yarrow.
Yeah, a little yarrow in there. And then of course the hydrangeas are starting to bud, and I like the fall ones because everything comes so early, so that's kind of fun to have them pop up now later in the summer.
And you use these begonias throughout the whole garden. We're going to see. It's very interesting because they're so impressive in the shape of the leaves, color.
People who buy annuals, they know it's a challenge to find the annuals that work in your house, and those just really work for me. They take the heat out here, and they'll take the part shade in the back, and they just do really well here. And you don't have to water them quite as intense as other annual.
I'm surprised those take the sunshine. That's
full
amazing.
sun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Putting those on my list for next year.
Yeah, they're a keeper in this house.
Here we are in one of Cindy's very comfortable seating areas, just set up so that you can admire the beauty front and behind you. Tell us about these.
So we were riding a bike one day, and those were on the side of the road for the garbage men to pick up, and I said to Rick, I want those. And he goes, really? I'm like, I don't know, they just look pretty cool. So I think they came from the framework of a screen porch, someone's exterior screen porch.
So you're talking about the frames, not
the frames,
mosaic.
right?
Oh.
And then the framework. So we went back and picked them up, and they sat downstairs for a while, and then I just started messing with them and combining things and put them together to add some color to the front yard.
So part of it is commercial stained glass, and then part of it are found objects.
Yeah, these are these round ones here. These are all the bottoms of glasses gotten from St. Vinny's. If you'd look on the back side, you could see the stemware on the backs of them. And then old plates, and these are some smaller specialty drink bottles that just fit in there perfect. So they were kind of fun. Yeah, all of those, all the way down are stems of glasses from St. Vinny's.
They look just like antique, the antique glass like you see in cathedral windows.
Yes, that's what I thought they were.
No.
I did too.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just cut off. So that was kind of fun to do.
Beautiful.
And then you hung some things from the bottles there that
just to add a
catch
little
the wind.
movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah, in the sun, it's more so in the spring when the sun comes through them. That maple tree is pretty big right now, but the sun shines through them and really catches the color of them.
So Cindy, this is a clematis. What color is it?
That is a fall clematis, and it blossoms white, only not the really big flowers. They're just small like this, and they just get loaded in the fall. And the bugs and the bees love it in the fall, and it just adds that winter color, fall color that is hard to get late in the season.
Well, I love the way it arches over this lattice and with the little window in there for your secret garden.
Yep. Well, let me take you back that way.
Let's.
So Cindy, this is an amazing trellis. Tell me about this.
Yeah, there's a couple of them throughout the place, throughout the house, and those are antenna holders. They work great for a trellis. They're sturdy. We just used a couple rebars attached to the bottom, you can see on the one there, to give it some sturdiness in the, they don't go anywhere.
No.
And that trellis that particular plant gets really big and a lot of weight to it and pulling, and that hasn't moved. Once it's in there, they're good to stay. So that's a good thing to look around for people that are redoing their houses.
And this is that autumn clematis again?
That's that autumn clematis again, yep.
Very nice.
What a nice use of the space too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back here we have something really bright and colorful again, beckoning us on.
Yeah, that's our full sun in the morning. That was a food garden, and it didn't really work for me. I'm not into food, I guess. I'm more into flowers. And so I converted it into flowers, and I'm glad I did. I have zinnias in the house all the time, cut flowers, so I enjoy that a lot. And then the sunflowers, you can see some of them are already ending, and we get yellow finches on it, and they're kind of fun to watch what finds them, hummingbirds, and yeah, so that's turned into a nice little area.
So you use the corrugated metal on
Yep.
the wall, keep the bunnies out pretty good?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and that was the initial start with the garden, and then it worked out all right for the zinnias, because they love zinnias too. So
Are the zinnias a perennial or an annual?
no, I plant those every year. Yeah, yep. They may seed themselves. You might get some up from seeding, but yeah, they're planted.
Well, here we are enjoying the shade garden.
Oh, and that is right.
Yeah, this part doesn't get much sun, so hostas are always a good standard for that. Trying to incorporate a little different flowers in little by little. These I just put in, these are Ligularia, and they take a lot of shade, so I'm hoping that they like it back here.
But they get big yellow spikes.
They get big yellow spikes, yep, that's here. This used to be a pond that I'm standing in. We had it for about 24 years, and the liner kind of got old, and we had some doubts if it was going to hold up. So we just, again, switched up, kept the framework or the stones. These were field stones we went and got out at some farmer's land, and still kept the water for the birds, which they enjoy a lot out here.
I'm glad you kept the rock. It makes for such an interesting feature.
Yeah, we were going to take it down. I'm like, no, I think we'll just work with it as a kind of a visual retaining wall, and it worked. We're glad we did it. It was time for it, and like we said, everything just keeps changing and finding things that work better for you.
Cindy, tell us please about your fountain. It looks like a good one for birds.
It is. They really like the flatness of it. There's a little depth in it. They like to come early. Summer it's early in the day. It's on a timer, so it comes on early in the morning, and probably about 4 or 5 they're pretty much done coming. We had considered a ball one, making it more of a visual for the pond, but kind of doubted how the birds would actually sit on one of those balls. So we went with this route, and glad that we did. They seem to enjoy it a lot. We sit on the deck, so this is our visual when we're on the deck out here, which is, we like to look at the different things, and the chimes, it's just enough, not too much. Yeah, a little, yeah. It works for us sitting on the deck. We like looking at it. It has a lot of good memories. This used to be a play set. Now that I think way back before, when our kids were little, this was a play set here. So it's evolved a lot over the years.
Well, Cindy's property here lines up to an alley and a public park, and she has some nice features even back here for the public to enjoy. One thing that really struck me is her little free library box here, and the arbor that she found, and over that she has trained the arborvitae into an arch. I always admire that when you see the English, garden mazes and the arches, and it's just really gives a lot of flair to this little accent piece. Not only that, going this way, there's a bench for the moms to lounge on, and over here there's another part of the garden.
And I see you have a sign designating you as a wildlife habitat.
Yep. Which, thanks to you, walking past your garden, that's how that came about.
Well, Cindy, this is a beautiful prairie garden with so much visual interest.
Yep. This, again, is a constant change. This is 2 years old, so we have a couple of fillers with zinnias and things for color, but I'm trying to bring in more of the natural flowers this back here for all the bugs and the butterflies, and it's really taken off. I wanted something that was going to have color all year long, and prairie flowers really kind of fit the bill for me for that back here.
What I think is interesting too, here in the front we see a certain color scheme, and since the plants are so tall, when you go to the other side you see a different color scheme in her sitting area. Very effective use of the growing habits of each plant.
Yeah, this back here will be the short again. That's the plan with the butterfly weed and some smoke grass, I think, is behind you there. So I'm trying to keep this a little shorter so that, you're right, you can see the tall flowers in the back. So we'll see how that pans out in the years to come.
So Cindy, here you have another area to just really sit and relax and enjoy your beautiful garden. This is on the back of the garden that we saw from the alley. In the background we can see the arborvitae arch and the little mailbox, and then all this beautiful color and all the insects all around. It's just charming.
And a fire pit?
Yep, these are some more bricks, and the fire pit itself is a ring from the streets for the sewer system when they dug up the streets. So that has worked well for us, but this pit has seen a lot of life over the years. We've ice skated over there and come over for bonfires after ice skating with Boy Scouts and 4-H, and yeah, it's been a family gathering spot for many years.
And here you've used another low stone wall with the native stone and with the marble on top, just like we saw over in your shade garden with where your pond used to be. Yeah, it really adds a lot of bringing in the native stone with your cultivated garden.
Yeah, we just kind of try and look around and see what we've saved and try and incorporate it any way we can. So that's kind of fun.
And we're sitting under this grand old tree.
Yes. This is a tree. It's wonderful. When we bought the place, the only thing that was in our backyard was this oak tree. There wasn't anything back here, and that oak tree it's just wonderful. It's well over 100, 150 years old, and we used to have a tire swing that swang from it when nothing else was back here, and yeah, it's been a lot. There's birds up in the tree up there. There's some kind of little woodpecker up there. Yeah, it's been nice.
Cindy, here we are standing under this beautiful arbor and this really interesting patio. What's all the words on these?
Well, these are called Puritan pavers, and my husband and I went down to the city where they were dumping these when they renovated downtown, and we brought them all back, and they were covered in tar, and you had to scrape each one from the blacktop of the roads. And a city worker had come over here once and commented, "Wow, where did you get all those Pavington pavers?" And we're like, "Well, down where you guys dumped them." And he said, "Those were only in the crosswalks. They were never on the road themselves." So we had a good day, I guess, of finding bricks, because that was all that we came up with was Puritan pavers. So that was kind of a fun little tidbit about the town.
There's a number of gardeners that have some of these in their garden as little keepsake, but not so many. I think.
And they wear good. They've been here, with the elements for many a year, and they're still in really good shape.
So tell us about the arbor.
So this arbor started out It started out as one little Chinese bittersweet, and the trellis has since been built on 5 times, and it gets trimmed once a year. This will all cascade down over the sides. It's kind of pretty when it cascades, but it gets to be a little much. So we do trim it once a year. In the winter, it'll have red berries on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in the summer, it just blossoms out into this lush protection over this deck, so we get to enjoy it all summer long underneath it. It's nice.
Do you get a lot of bird nests?
We do get some bird nests, yep. And that you just kind of go with, because you know what that means underneath them.
You have your stained glass window panels here as kind of semi-walls on your deck.
Yep.
And you were saying that the glass pieces are actually glued onto those.
Yeah, that's I found over the years Lexol glue, which you can get on the internet, works the best if anyone's interested in doing mosaic on any old windows or any projects that you want to do. It really holds up, because those windows probably are a good 15 years old, so they hold up very well with that Lexol glue.
Beautiful.
Here on the entrance to the garage, Cindy has made some really interesting found art with hubcaps or wheels.
Bike
wheels
wheels.
from bicycles.
Wheels, yep.
And how in the world did you get bicycle wheels to run through a glass bottle?
Yeah, you just, they just have a hole drilled, took the spike out, and drilled one hole in the bottles again, and added some bling. Every girl needs a bling in their garden. And yeah, and they really shimmer in the sun, so those are kind of fun. And they blow in the breeze, and so they're kind of fun.
It's a grand entrance here, back here to the girls back here in the chicken coop.
Those are my girls. Yeah, we've had them now for a long time. And they just add some noise and some life to the backyard. And when the grandkids come, they love to come and get the eggs. So that's always fun. And they keep my mosquitoes down. Not that we have very many in Baraboo.
It seems like a lot of people in Baraboo are interested in keeping chickens.
Yes. If you're thinking about it, it's a great teaching lesson for your kids, responsibility, and yeah, they're just fun to have. They're a good thing to do. And you're eating eggs that are healthy and good for you, and it's fun.
So Pat, this has been really fun going to
yeah.
see Cindy's garden. And if you at home would like to send in some pictures of your garden, we can send them to joan@baraboopubliclibrary.org. And we'd also like to invite you to send in pictures of your chickens and chicken coops if you have any.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things happening in Baraboo's backyard, so it'd be great to share them with your friends and neighbors. Cindy has used vintage windows that she's put on fence posts to accent her urn here, and she changes the display on this by the season. Cindy, can you give us some ideas how we might want to do this?
Oh, that's an easy way to add any holiday festival things to your house. Halloween, I put in gourds and maybe some something Halloween wreaths back here, or happy Halloween signs. And Christmas, you can decorate the windows with lights, and I put big Christmas balls in the wreaths or in the vases in the winter time. You can just switch it up to all the holidays, and so they're kind of fun. They change, and they're visually from my house, so I kind of like to look out and see them, which is kind of nice for us. But that was a easy, cheap way to decorate your house.
And very effective. Thank you.
And these are gorgeous. Look at how large they are. Wow.
Again, that's that begonia that I just love, that dragon begonia. Yeah.
And it looks so nice with your entrance and exit, which I'm sorry we have to do now. Thank you so much for letting us share your garden today.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it.
Bye.
See you on our next adventure.